Hi. First, you need to install Node and npm. After that, you can create a React application by running npx create React app followed by your app name. For example, course tic-tac-toe. Press enter and wait. It can take a few minutes. So you can change the directory to your course tic-tac-toe and then just run npm start and wait a few seconds. And here we have our first React application. Go to your directory, course tic-tac-toe, and open your IDE. I'll use Vim, but you can use whatever you want. Here you can open the src directory, and let's see what's inside the app.js file. There's some code here, but we can remove it. I don't want to use this, so delete it and just write, for example, hi. Also, I want to remove logo.svg and app.css. Of course, I want to delete both of those files from the directory as well. In index.js, you can see react.strict mode, which is good for development. But I don't like it because it sometimes duplicates console.log messages. So I will remove it. Now, let's go back to app.js, and after that we can start coding our application. Right now, we only have an app that displays a simple text message. The first thing I want to create is the squares. And for the squares, I'm going to use useState. Let's create the squares, have a setSquares function, and initialize it with an array of x and o. This is an array of 9 elements, either x or o. Now, let's go into the return part and use JavaScript. We need to use parentheses, then squares.map, value index, and based on that we want to return a value. Open the inspector tools in your browser, select Console tab, and you'll see a warning here. Each child in the list should have a unique key prop, which means that we should add a key here, for example the index. It's not the best practice to use the index as a key, but for this use case it's fine. Later in the course, we'll use something else. But if I refresh now, we don't have this warning anymore. Other than that, I'd like to style it a bit. So for that, I'll just copy-paste the code. I'll add some board styles and square styles. Let's see where we can use this. I'll write style equals board style. And for the squares, I want to add a style as well. So write style equals square style. Let's see how it looks now. Other than that, I would like to wrap everything into one additional HTML element, and within that element, I will just add a background color. So it'll be a style background color, which will be gray. Let's add a bit more styling. I'll add 2 new functions, and I'll just copy-paste them. I won't use a lot of copy-paste in this course, but this part isn't very interesting. So we'll have handle square hover and handle square leave, and you can use them here inside the squares. So right on mouse is enter equals handle square hover, and on mouse leave equals handle square leave. Let's see how it looks. So yeah, we have this small animation when we enter a square with a mouse, and when we leave it. I'd like to have different colors for X and O. So let's make the X color blue. And color for O will be orange. We can use it here inside the style, but for that we need to add these additional parentheses. We want to use everything from the square style and also add a color based on the value of the square. If it's an X, we use the X color. Otherwise, we use the O color. There's an error. Square is not defined. Oh, of course. It should be squares, not square. This looks nice, but of course we want to start with an empty board and then fill it when the user clicks on it. So instead of initializing the state like this, let's remove it and use an array of 9 elements filled with a single space. And now let's add handle click. So here on the square, we also want to add an onClick event. And what do we want to do on click? We want to call a function that runs handle click and passes the index. Of course, now we have a problem. We don't have a handle-click function yet, so let's add it. Cons handle-click. And let's say that this function accepts the move. And let's for now just console log that move. Refresh the page, and when I click, I get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's good. On click, we're passing the index to the handle-click function. We want to set the squares, and for that we need the current squares. To create the new squares, we can copy all the data from the current squares. Let's access the move, write an exclamation mark there, and then return the new squares. Now, whenever we click, there will be an exclamation point. Of course, we don't want exclamation points in our tic-tac-toe game. We want to write X and O. And for that, let's add one more state for this video. X is next and set X is next. We can initialize it with true, because X will be the first player when the game starts. And new squares of move will be X or O instead of an exclamation point. So check the value of X is next. If it's true, we want X, otherwise we want O. And when a user clicks, we also want to change the value of X is next. So use set X is next. Take the current X is next and return the opposite of it. I know this looks a bit overcomplicated, since we could just write set X is next and pass opposite of X is next. But because we'll use sockets and there are some side effects, I prefer this notation. For now, the user can still keep clicking on the board, but we'll fix that in the next video. Again, because of the sockets, I want to modify this part of the code a bit. So first we call set X is next, and after that we call set squares.